This very is describing the word tall. That means it is the word that is describing the adjective. So very becomes an adverb. So the work of an adverb is to tell more about a verb. It tells more about an adjective. It also tells us more about an other adverb. The word very is modifying the word sweet. Hence it is just placed before the adjective. So when an adverb qualifies the whole sentence, it must be placed at the head of the sentence. Means the sentence should begin with an adverb only. Hello everyone, I am Dr. Shalini, Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today we are here to understand one of the language components prescribed by University of MYSURU for 2nd Sem BCom. We are going to understand about adverbs today. In this module, you will be learning about I'll just introduce you to what is an adverb. Then we will understand the actual meaning of an adverb. Then we will also look at the kinds of adverbs. Then most importantly, the position of adverbs, like where should the adverbs be used in a sentence. So let us enter to the session. I'll just introduce you to what are adverbs first. So you can read few sentences that are given on the board here. The farmer worked, the teacher spoke, and my daughter laughs. So here you can identify few verbs, isn't it? There is a subject, there is a verb, and of course there will be an object in the sentence. That is optional. Object is actually optional here. So here you can see the farmer is the subject in the sentence and work, that is the action word, that is the verb. Okay, so similarly here also the teacher is the subject and spoke is the verb, and in the third sentence my daughter is the subject and laughs is the verb. So we have seen the verbs in the sentence. Let us make these verbs little interesting now by adding little extra details to the verbs. So there will be few words that describe the verbs over here. So which are those? The teacher spoke is the sentence we saw. How did she spoke? Well. The farmer worked hard. So how did he work? So work, we already know it is a verb. So how did he work? He worked hard. My daughter laughs. Laughs is the verb we saw. And how did she laugh? She laughed loudly. So by using these words, that is well, hard, loudly, all these words, we are making the verb, that is the action word, little more interesting. So what is that? What is a big deal in making them interesting? So that is called as the adverb actually. So we have just seen how the adverbs can modify the verbs. That means there are few words that modify the verbs, that make the verbs little interesting. So those words are called as adverbs. And here you can see these adverbs also modify words like adjectives and another adverb. So how is that possible? Just now in the previous sentences we saw the adverbs were actually modifying the verbs. So here are few examples wherein the adverbs can modify adjectives as well as adverbs. So here in the slide you can see adverbs modifying the adjectives. So here let us understand what is the subject. This tree is the subject here. Tree is the subject. So we have verb here and very tall. Tall is actually the adjective. It is telling what kind of tree is that. Fine. So this word tall is describing the word tree, hence it becomes an adjective. And how tall it is, how much tall is it? It is very tall. Fine. So this very is describing the word tall. That means it is the word that is describing the adjective. So very becomes an adverb. So this here the adverb is modifying the adjective in this sentence. Fine. So here the adverb is modifying the adjective, and in the second sentence also you can see the dress is too expensive. This dress is too expensive. This dress is the subject here, verb again. Expensive is an adjective. So what kind of dress is this? It is an expensive dress. How expensive is this? It is too expensive. So this becomes an adverb. Fine. So this adverb is also modifying an adjective. So we have seen two examples wherein the adverbs are modifying the adjective in the sentences. So let me give you another example wherein the adverb modifies another adverb. So in this sentence you can see he is almost always hungry. So here you can see there is an adjective also. There is an adjective. Again there is an adverb that is modifying an adjective, and this adverb is in turn modifying another adverb. Okay, so how do you do it? This is an adverb. How do I know it? This is again an adverb. How do I know it? This is modifying an adjective, hence this is an adverb. So this adverb is modifying an adjective, this adverb is modifying this adverb. So this is how you use adverbs in order to modify another adverb. So we have seen what is the work of an adverb now. So the adverb modifies the verb in the first part, then it also modifies an adjective, it also modifies another adverb. So the work of an adverb is to tell more about a verb, it tells more about an adjective, it also tells a little more about an other adverb. So this is the definition of an adverb. Fine. An adverb describes a verb, tells more about an adjective, as well as an adverb is the definition of an adverb. So now let us move on to the kinds of adverbs. Okay. So here Sheila proudly showed us her new painting. So you know here Sheila is the subject, showed is the verb. So this verb is modified by this verb, this word proudly, that is the adverb. So proudly, and also another way in which you can identify the adverb is that there will be ly. Not all the adverbs end with ly. Fine. Most commonly adverbs are ending with ly. Fine. So here proudly is the adverb. So here you can see that this word proudly answers the question how. Fine. How did Sheila show us her painting? So this tells us about the manner in which she showed the painting. So since it is telling about the manner, this word proudly is telling about the way in which Sheila showed the painting. So this becomes an adverb of manner. Fine. So this is telling us how she did something. So something that tells us how a work has happened, this is nothing but adverb of manner. So this is the first type of adverb, that is adverb of manner. Then the next adverb, Sheila showed us her new painting here. So this is telling us the place where the action has taken place. So this showing of painting has happened, that is showing is the action, isn't it? So that work showing has happened in a place here. This is telling us about the place. Fine. This is answering the question where. So where did Sheila show the painting? This is telling us about the place. Hence this becomes the adverb of place. Fine. Adverb of place always tells us the place where the action has taken place. So here, there, outside, inside. So all these are actually places. Fine. So this is called as adverb of place. And at the same time, you should not consider that Sheila showed us the painting in her house. No, that in her house is not an adverb. Fine. It is just a phrase there. Fine. It is just a phrase, that is prepositional phrase. But here it has to exactly tell us the place. It doesn't tell us the exact point. It just tells us about some place, vague idea of the place. So outside, inside, here, there, everywhere. So all these come under adverbs of place. So next we move on to the another type of adverb, that is today Sheila showed them her new painting. So when did Sheila show the painting? It is today. That means it is telling us about the time at which she has shown the painting. So here it does not tell you the exact time. Sheila showed them their new painting at 10 a.m. So this is not the way it is written. It does not tell you the exact time. It just tells you a vague idea of when she has shown it. So this is answering the question when. So this becomes adverb of time. Fine. This doesn't tell us the exact time, but it tells us when something was shown. So today, tomorrow, every day, yesterday, next week, coming week, all these come under adverbs of time only. These do not tell us the exact time, but they just give us a vague idea of when something has happened. Fine. So all these are examples of adverbs of time. Fine. Let us move on to the next type, that is Sheila often shows others her new painting. So this showing has happened. So how many times she has shown? How many times? That is the frequency or the number of times you are talking about. The frequency or the number of times something has happened. So that comes under adverb of frequency. Fine. Adverb of frequency tells us how many times something has happened. So here it is often. I often go to visit my parents. So often is the adverb of frequency here. So something that happens many a times, that is maybe frequently or maybe every day, always. So all these are examples of adverbs of frequency. Fine. Something that happens many times. So that is told by adverb of frequency. So these are the examples of adverb of frequency. So I've just put everything in one single table and you can know the different types of adverbs over here. To begin with, it is adverb of manner. Fine. Adverb of manner tells us how some work was done. Fine. An example sentence you can hear, how did she cry? She cried loudly. How did she sing? She sang sweetly. Fine. So adverb of manner usually ends with ly. So that is a clue for you and that you have to identify like this. So these are few examples, more examples for you to understand about adverbs of manner. So these are few examples of adverb of manner. So you can see here also there are few words that do not end with ly. Okay, it is ill. Then we have, you can say fast. He drives fast. Again, how did he drive? He drove fast. So that there is no word fastly. So that adverb doesn't end with ly. So most commonly this adverb of manner ends with ly. But there are few cases that like ill or maybe fastly, that is fast, ly is not there, right? So fastly word is not there or fast. So something like this. There are 2-3 exceptions which come under this adverb of manner also. So now we move on to adverb of place. Fine. Adverb of place answers the question where some work has taken place. Fine. So I live there. My father is sleeping upstairs. So it is telling us where something has happened. So here you can see, and let me just tell you, my father is sleeping upstairs. It is the place where he is sleeping. Fine. Suppose if it was in the room upstairs, in the room, if it was there, this also tells you the place, but since it starts with a preposition, this does not become an adverb. It is a prepositional phrase. As I told you before when I gave you the example also, this is the prepositional phrase, not the adverb of time. Fine. But upstairs is considered to be the adverb of place because it does not have a preposition. It gives us the place where something has happened. So these are few examples of adverbs of place. Fine. You can just go through when you watch this video. Moving on to the next type of adverb, that is adverb of time. That tells when some work has happened, when some work has taken place. The PM arrived now. When did he arrive? He arrived now. He left early. When did he leave? He left early. Yes, it ends with ly, but early itself is a word. Suppose if it was sweetly, you would have added ly in order to make it sweetly. Okay, to sweet you add ly and make it sweetly, but here you don't add ly to year and make it early. No, this is wrong usage. Early itself is a word. So this doesn't become an adverb of manner. It comes under adverb of time only. So these are few examples of adverb of time. Fine. You can make a note of it. Then we have adverb of frequency here. This tells us how many times something has happened. Fine. Frequency is nothing but how many times something happens. So here you can say Priya is often absent. How many times is she absent? She is often absent from the dance class. Shruti never tells a lie. So how many times does she lie? She never tells a lie. So this is also an example here, example sentence. So here are few examples of adverbs of frequency. So these are the 4 different types of adverbs you had to learn. Fine. So there are few more categories if you go deep into it, but broad categories I have just given you over here. And the last one is adverb of quantity or adverb of degree. How much something has happened. So this answers the question how much. Fine. So this tells us the degree of something has happened. Okay. How much something has happened. So here you can see Tom Cruise is very handsome. How much is he handsome? It is very handsome. I am extremely sorry. How sorry are you? How much? It is extremely. Fine. So to what degree you are doing something? Fine, that comes under adverb of degree here. These are few examples of adverbs of degree. So there are 5 different types of adverbs that you understood. Now the most important thing we have to understand is where we have to use these adverbs. Fine. Suppose I say she sang sweetly. Why should I use sweetly in the end only? Why can't I say sweetly she sang? Is it a correct sentence? Is it the correct structure of a sentence? Yes, come, let us understand that. We have few rules that we have to understand for this position of adverbs. So, which are the rules? Let us understand. So, first thing is you have to understand is that an adverb that modifies an adjective or another adverb. Make a note of it. Here you are talking about an adverb that modifies an adjective or another adverb. Fine. So those are usually placed before the modified word. So whatever it is modifying, that adverb is modifying. So before that only this word is placed. So here, for example, the fruits are very sweet. So what is it modifying? So this is the adverb here. Fine, this is the adverb here. Sweet is the adjective here because sweet is telling what kind of fruits they are. So sweet is an adjective here. Adverb is modifying this adjective, hence it is placed just before the word it is modifying. Fine. So the word very is modifying the word sweet, hence it is just placed before the adjective. So that is according to the rule. Fine. Again, when an adverb is required to be placed before a verb, so now we are talking about a verb. Fine. Verb or maybe a verb phrase also, sometimes you can consider, it must be placed after the first word of the verb. So what is this first word of the verb? Let us now understand. The teacher shall certainly talk to my parents. So here there is a verb and you have to use it before that. Fine. Certainly this is an adverb of manner that is modifying the verb talk. So this has to be placed before that. But however, this shall also comes as a modal verb here. Shall is actually a modal verb, but you have to place this adverb just before the verb as I told over here. If it is a verb phrase, then means walk in, talk on, put off, all these are phrasal verbs. So before the first word you have to just put it. Okay, so you just need to understand whenever you are using this adverb of manner, that is any word you are using in order to modify a verb, just place it before the word. Fine. So that is the second rule. An adverb of frequency which answers the question how often, that is how many times. The examples are given here like often, usually, generally, all these. So these come under adverb of frequency, or maybe adverbs like already, hardly, nearly, all these. So all these are usually placed before the verb they modify. Fine. So the adverb of frequency or maybe adverbs like these which are given over here. So these have to be placed just before the verb that they are modifying. So let us have an example. Bolt almost reached. So verb is this. Fine. This verb is being modified by the adverb almost. So here that almost is also in the list. So almost is the adverb here. This is modifying the verb and that's why almost is placed just before the verb. If you use it somewhere else also, it doesn't make sense, isn't it? Verb reach the finish line almost. Almost Bolt reached the finish line. No, that is not the proper structure of the sentence because it sounds little weird, isn't it? This actually makes a better sense. Though you might have used like almost Bolt reached the finish line, it might make sense, you can understand the meaning also, but that is not the proper structure. Fine. In order to make it non-weird kind of sentence, it is better you place it this way. So that was rule number 3. Then we move on to rule number 4. An adverb of frequency is placed after the verb be. See here, the verb be has many forms here. Fine. The verb be has many forms. In present tense, it has 3 forms. In present, it has 3 forms. In past, we have 2 forms of be. Fine. Be has 3 forms in present and 2 forms in past. So just before, whenever you are talking about, whenever this is modifying adverb of frequency is used, then it has to be placed after the verb be. So how is it? I have given an example in present tense, like she is always late for office. So here she is always late. So this is the adverb that is modifying another adjective. Fine. So she is always. So this adverb has to be placed after the verb be. So what we have to consider is the be, that is the form of be, it has to be placed after that. She always is late, it is wrong. She is always late. Fine. So whenever you are getting such a structure, whenever you are getting to place this be and then an adverb, please make sure you use the form of be first, then you make use of this adverb next. Fine. Going to rule number 5 here. An adverb of place, like there, here, all these. Fine. Or maybe adverb of time also. Now, later, today, all these. So they are always placed after the verb or maybe after the object also, if at all there is an object. If there is an object, you place it after the object. If there is no object, you just place it after the verb. So how is the example here? He parks the car here. So here is placed in the end. Suppose there is no object at all. He laughed here. Fine. She fell here. Fine. After the verb it is placed. If at all there is an object, you place it after the object. If at all there is no object, please place it after the verb there. For example, she fell here. Fine. She is the subject. Fell is the verb here. I have no object in this sentence. So I place this adverb after the verb here. Fine. This is another example for a transitive and intransitive object. That is, if an object is there and if an object is not there. Then we move on to rule number 6, the adverb enough. So this is an adverb which is exclusively a rule is made for this. An adverb, the adverb enough is always placed after the word it modifies. So how is it? Megha is clever enough. So this enough is modifying the word clever. So whenever you are using this adverb, that is enough, in order to modify another adverb or an adjective, you have to place it after the word it is modifying. Fine. Megha is clever enough to travel alone. So just after the verb you will place it. So this was rule number 6. When an adverb qualifies a sentence, so we are talking about the whole sentence. An adverb can qualify the whole sentence also. So when an adverb qualifies the whole sentence, it must be placed at the head of the sentence. Means the sentence should begin with an adverb only. So here is an example. Fortunately, we found a hotel nearby. Okay, so you are very fortunate enough to find the hotel nearby. So you are telling that fortunately. Usually this adverb that qualifies the whole sentence, it ends with ly. Luckily, we were there on time. So luckily is the adverb there. Fortunately is the adverb in this sentence. So words that need an adverb in order to modify the whole sentence, so they have to be used in the beginning of the sentence. So this was rule number 7. So we have rule number 8 here. When there are more than one adverb, suppose there is more than one adverb in a sentence, how is the order? You need to maintain an order. You have an order for adjectives also, right? You have an order for adverbs also. So how do you use this? It should be like, first the adverb of manner will come, then the adverb of place will come, then the adverb of time will come. Fine. Usually these 3 adverbs only will be used together. Okay. Suppose there is an adverb of degree also. Then after this only adverb of degree will come. Fine. Like usually what is the rule for adverb of degree? You place it just before the verb. I am almost hungry. So how hungry you are? How much hungry you are? Almost. So I am too hungry. So like this, you use it just before the verb there. So here, let me just tell you, let us identify the different types of adverbs here. She came quietly there yesterday. So here, all the adverbs are placed after the verb only. So she came quietly. How did she come? Quietly. When did she come? Yesterday. Where did she come? There. And when did she come? She came yesterday. Suppose you are adding adverb of degree. You add it here. So here you add it. Okay, she came too quietly or very quietly, something like that. Okay, so you add adverb of degree here. Fine. Then suppose you are adding adverb of frequency. Okay, so that time also you should be adding it where you will add it here. She never came. Okay, here you may add words like never, always, something like this. Fine. So this comes under adverb of frequency. Adverb of frequency, you add it before the verb. You add adverb of degree, then you go with adverb of manner, then the adverb of place, then the adverb of time. So most commonly these are the three adverbs that are used together. These are the three adverbs used together. These two are used very rarely in the same sentence. All adverbs coming in one sentence only, it is actually very rare. So this was rule number 8. So using this 8 rules that I have told you to use adverbs in a sentence, you can master the usage of adverbs here. However, you'll be getting a few questions that wherein you have to identify the adverbs in your examination, but it's better you understand the different types of adverbs, because maybe you will not be able to identify adverbs if at all they come under that category. For example, enough. Maybe you will not be able to identify that enough is an adverb. But when you know which type of adverb it is, then you will be able to identify it very easily. Fine. So suppose I'm talking about tomorrow. Tomorrow is an adverb actually. But when I teach you about adverbs, it modifies adjective, adverb and another verb, I can say. Fine, that is a definition. But tomorrow there is nowhere there in the definition. But when you understand about the different types of adverbs, it is better you understand it so that you will be able to categorize it later in your examination. So let us wind up this session. Keep learning, children. So watch this recorded lecture. It will be helpful to you. Thank you for your time. Let us meet again. Take care of yourself. Bye.